I struggled when it came to asking questions. Generally, my communication is pretty good, but when I had a newborn, especially the first one, that was hard to actually A, string a sentence together, B, string a sentence together at the right time when I needed to, and C, string a sentence together at the right time when I needed to in front of a midwife. I don't know what it is about. Well, now I know it's an autism thing, but it was just like I sort of almost went a bit mute. I could say other stuff, like they would ask me questions and I'd be able to answer them. But then if it came to the point where I had questions, my mind just went blank. So quite often I would actually only remember or be able to phrase something that I wanted to say as the midwife was heading out the door. I would recommend writing stuff down. And I say that fully in the knowledge that I personally forgot to write things down. So I think probably my top tip for that would be stick a piece of paper to the back of the front door, or a place in your house where you go past all the time, somewhere central. Somewhere that you'll see it. Maybe even stick a pen in some blue tack to the sheet of paper. And then as you're going around, if you think of something, you can write it down pretty quickly because you know where the piece of paper is. It's central to the house. That is how detailed it becomes, that you need that sort of stuff to remind yourself what you're doing, where you're supposed to be, what questions you wanted to ask the midwife. I will say that the advice you'll probably get is conflicting, but depending on who you ask. And that is purely because every midwife or every health visitor will have had their own experiences, their own training, that they won't have all been trained in the same place, they won't have had the same lecturers, they won't have had the same experience of life, of patients, etc. So you're going to get differing advice. So you will find yourself using trial and error a lot. But again, the piece of paper at the bottom of the stairs is probably a good place to make notes, like what have you tried today, or what have you tried this week, and which one of these options worked the best for you and the baby, etc. So yeah, I know that sounds terribly organised, I'm sorry. As for contacting your midwife or health visitor, I'm okay on the phone, whereas obviously some of us aren't. So it's a good idea to check with your midwifery team when you get assigned your named midwife. You won't see that named midwife all the time, but they will be able to answer any questions you've got, and you should be able to text them or email them, or stick a note through your GP surgery's door or something like that. Whatever is best for you. As long as you're okay with voicing that at your booking in appointment, your first midwifery appointment, they should be accommodating enough for that. But, I mean, you can claim it as a reasonable adjustment, because that's pretty much what it is. Having your communication needs met is a basic requirement. Otherwise, they're not going to get any information across to you, or you to them. So yeah, I would say if you've got any worries about, what might happen when you do need to contact a health professional, say so. I know autistic people come across as blunt sometimes. I probably did just then. If you're worried about how your voice sounds, if you're worried about vocalizing stuff, write it down. They will give you a red book, okay? And this red book is your kid's Bible. So if you're writing stuff down for the midwife, surely that's acceptable. It's just tit for tat, And I will put my hands up. I used to forget the red book all the time. But again, if I'd had my bit of paper by the bottom of the stairs, I probably wouldn't have.